This is not, of course, the first time that Trump has attacked judges who rule against him.
From the mouth of the President of the United States. Let's not mince words. Trump is calling on Republicans in Congress to rid him of a federal judge.
Test of Trump's expansive use of executive power. It is also a test of the extent to which he and his lawyers believe he can be checked by the courts.
Ever heard of the saying, be careful what you wish for? Donald Trump appointed over 230 federal judges during his presidency, bragging it was his greatest achievement. He thought they'd be his loyal puppets. But in a twist that nobody saw coming, these same judges are now ruling against Trump's policies left and right.
And then even when the judge had issued a written order, they still did not comply. And in court yesterday, they were arguing that the reason they did not need to comply with that written order.
Under Trump's post today is that MAGA caucus members in the House of Representatives have introduced articles of impeachment against 3 federal judges.
One Trump judge even questioned if mass deportations are constitutional. Orange Man appointed them, and now they're giving him orange-level rage fits. Let's look at why Trump's loyal subjects are turning on him.
More than 2 centuries, it has been established that impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreement concerning.
And in a pretty heated hearing yesterday, the Justice Department insisted that they did not need to abide by the judge's oral order from the bench.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
This judge, like many of the crooked judges I am forced to appear before, should be impeached in all capitals.
I think, he doesn't get involved very often. The fact that he's chosen to step in here, you see he's responding to what Trump put in that Truth Social this morning.
Right.
Remember those 230 plus judges Trump bragged about appointing? You know, the ones he collected like rare Pokemon cards. Well, plot twist. They're now giving him the biggest judicial headache since someone told him Supreme Court doesn't mean they serve tacos. Trump spent 4 years packing courts faster than he packs his lunch, 2 Big Macs and a Diet Coke. He called these appointments his greatest achievement and expected these judges to be loyal little soldiers in black robes. But something wild is happening. These judges are doing this crazy thing called following the law. Take Judge James Ho, a Trump appointee who's now playing constitutional superhero.
Reading, this radical left lunatic of a judge, a troublemaker and agitator who was sadly appointed by Barack Hussein Obama, who was not elected president,
would be the 4th judge targeted if and when the Texas Republican Congressman Brandon Gill files articles of impeachment against him, as he has vowed to do.
During an immigration hearing, he actually grilled government lawyers about whether mass deportations are constitutional. Ho even had the audacity to declare, the Constitution applies to everyone within our borders, not just citizens. I bet Trump was reaching for his phone to tweet fire him before remembering he can't. Then there's Judge Trevor McFadden, another Trump pick, who blocked Trump from using military cash for his precious border wall. McFadden basically told Trump, sorry buddy, the Constitution says only Congress controls the money. That's like hiring a security guard who then stops you from breaking into your own building because, well, that would still be breaking and entering. The rejections keep piling up like Trump's legal bills. His executive actions have been rejected more than 40 times in federal courts during his 2nd term alone. That's more than during his 1st term when judges were already working overtime explaining basic constitutional principles to him.
Trump threw this tantrum over a federal judge blocking his mass deportation stunt. So Trump went on Truth Social and said the judge is a troublemaker, demanded impeachment.
many of them deranged murderers in our country. Make America great again. This was born out of a decision handed down by Judge Boasberg, which sought to block the Trump administration.
Trump's reaction. His social media accounts became what you might call a digital tantrum zone. He filled posts with all-caps rants about disloyal judges who were stabbing me in the back. In one particularly revealing post, Trump wrote, I put these judges on the bench, and this is how they thank me by following the law instead of my orders. Total witch hunt. Aw, poor baby. Behind closed doors, it gets even juicier. Trump reportedly called Judge Aileen Cannon ungrateful and a backstabber after she ruled against him. He allegedly told aides, I made her career and now she's killing me. Imagine being shocked that the people whose job is to uphold the law are upholding the law. If Trump thought his own judges were disappointing him, it's the Reagan-era judges who are serving him the most devastating legal smackdowns.
Isn't how it works. It's not how the American judiciary is organized. This is in response to Donald Trump's completely whacked out troth central rant
concerning a judicial decision. The normal appellate review process exists for that purpose. The statement was published in response to Trump's unhinged post on Truth Social.
These judicial grandpas have been on the bench since Trump was just a real estate rookie with questionable hair choices, and they're not impressed by his presidential tantrums. Judge Royce Lamberth, appointed way back in 1987 when Reagan was still telling Gorbachev to tear down walls instead of build them, has been handing out legal lessons to presidents of both parties for over 35 years. When the Trump administration tried pushing through immigration restrictions affecting transgender rights, Lamberth wasn't having any of it. He blocked those restrictions faster than Trump blocks people on Truth Social. These judges don't just talk about constitutional principles, they actually enforce them, regardless of which party appointed them. Judge William Alsup, another Reagan pick, went even further. He didn't just rule against Trump, he tore into the Justice Department for bringing sham documents and press releases instead of actual evidence to court. Imagine showing up to a gunfight with a water pistol made of paper. That's essentially what Trump's legal team did, and Alsup called them out for hiding the fact that Trump had ordered federal workers fired. These Reagan judges weren't impressed by Trump's bullying. They've seen tougher presidents come and go.
To the Supreme Court, John Roberts has issued a public rebuke of Donald Trump. The statement reads, "For more than 2 centuries, it has been established."
The Supreme Court, the Chief Justice of the United States of America, just issued a rare statement on President Trump.
The contrast couldn't be clearer. While Trump expected his appointed judges to be personal loyalists who would rule in his favor regardless of what the law actually says, these Reagan-era judges represent a completely different brand of Republican judicial philosophy. They're the judicial equivalent of your grandpa who walks 5 miles every morning and still mows his own lawn at 85. Old school, principled, and surprisingly tough. Trump's team completely misjudged these judges. They thought the older judges would back down or side with them based on partisan loyalty. Instead, they've become Trump's most formidable opponents precisely because they remember when being a conservative judge meant upholding the Constitution, not pledging allegiance to whoever appointed you. One advisor from Trump's team reportedly admitted, "We never expected the old guys to be the problem. We thought they'd be on our side." Surprise, they're on America's side, not Trump's. And that's the key difference. While Trump's view of judges seems to be, "What have you done for me lately?" the Reagan judges ask, "What does the Constitution require?"
By the Trump administration, or at least try to, should be impeached. And here the Chief Justice writes, "For more than 2 centuries.
Warning from the Supreme Court. It's true. It's a warning, and it is a brutal warning. Trump should have seen this coming.
So what have we learned today, folks? The US Constitution isn't just some dusty old document gathering cobwebs in a museum. It's actually working. Even as Trump tries his best to play king, the judiciary is giving him a reality check that would make any constitutional scholar proud. The separation of powers isn't just theoretical mumbo-jumbo from your high school civics class. It's alive and kicking Trump right in his executive orders. No matter how much he tweets, tantrums, or tries to intimidate judges, the law remains the law. So sleep tight, America. Our democracy still has a pulse, and it turns out presidents really aren't kings, no matter how orange their throne.